persons with disabilities should strive on or go on with their lives. She just had her thinking faculty, she had herself, and then she pulled herself out of that dark room because she didn't want to stay in there and print out negatives. She pushed herself out in the light, and she's still in the light and will remain in the light. I hope this story inspires you to wake up and tell yourself, I can. Let's do this again next week, same time, same station. My name is Dushma Pius Ikiravi. Thank you for staying. Have a fantastic week ahead. Bye-bye.
Being a woman has been described as an epitome of a life full circle. From cradle to expiration, never a dull moment. Sometimes even the opposite gender wonders what it is like being a woman. With special hormones shooting her up and down alongside the societal responsibilities. Mind-altering thoughts, but conversations will give it the all-embracing discourse on Wednesday, the 3rd of August, 2022 at 9 a.m. It is a date for both the man and the woman. Join us.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
NTA Tuesday Live, analytical, in-depth, educative and interactive on national issues accommodating all sides of opinions.
We as a people have understood that we have to fight corruption before it fights us back.
Poverty has a financial index, so it should be fought also with a financial weapon. Give it to the social investments program. It has been a very courageous battle.
Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Join us.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News Mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News Mobile app, your access to real-time information.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone.
Federal government reacts to alleged subsidy removal on petrol.
I can tell you authoritatively, we have not deregulated. The government is subsidizing. If there are increases in price, it is not from the government.
Restoring confidence in the judiciary dominates discussions. Workshop of Justice System opens in Abuja.
And federal government inaugurates new population advisory group.
Commissioners are all going to their respective states. They are expected to also look out for people with the kind of credibility and experience background.
Good morning, Nigeria. Today we shall review the 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations conducted by JAM.
All right, so the 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, that's UTME, has come, gone, and results long released.
Now, of the more than 1.7 million candidates who sat for the examinations in various registered computer-based centers nationwide, over 370,000 scored 200 and above.
All right, so the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, that's JAM, said it cancelled the examination in 10 centers spread across 5 states of the Federation due to what it says was malpractice.
But in order not to punish innocent candidates in those centers where malpractices were recorded, the board has fixed a mop-up UTME scheduled to hold this Saturday, August the 6th, 2022.
Now, apart from those candidates in those centers cancelled, other candidates to participate in the mop-up examination will include those with fingerprint peculiarities, technical challenges, and BVM failure.
In the meantime, JAM has restated its commitment to zero tolerance for malpractices in the course of the examinations being conducted by the board.
For now, the board and other stakeholders have pegged the cut-off marks for admission to various tertiary institutions across the country for the 2022-2023 academic session.
Now, this was the outcome of the policy meeting that took place at the International Conference Center in Abuja. Now, the breakdown shows that 140 is the benchmark for universities and 100 for colleges of education, for example.
All right, so as the nation's candidates await commencement of admission, what informed the decision of the board to peg the cut-off marks at 140 for the next academic session? How many candidates are likely to meet the admission benchmark, Kingsley?
Well, pertinent questions you raised there, and just to immediately correct something, because we keep hearing it all around. It is not JAM that actually fixes the cutoff mark. As indicated, it's the policy meeting that involves the heads of tertiary institutions throughout the country, and there are hundreds of them who usually gather for the policy meeting chaired by the Honorable Minister of Education. But another question to ask is what has been done to clear or address the backlog of candidates seeking admission into various tertiary institutions in the country. And what is the performance of the candidates in this year's examination compared to previous years, and how many candidates have been sanctioned for malpractices? These are some of the questions we intend to put forward to our guests as we review the 2022 UTME, that's the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examinations. It's Good Morning Nigeria. Chilly morning here in the nation's capital. I'm Kingsley Osadolo, thanking you for tuning in.
It's been quite chilly over the weekend, and indeed, Kingsley. Yeah. But I think it's a weather that most people will prefer, than the scorching sun across the, other globe. I am Claire Adelabo Abdul Razak, and just to also say that we're used to saying jam, fix the cutoff marks. We're used to saying that. That's the common impression out there. But of course, Kingsley, that has been the source of,
misunderstanding. The jam doesn't fix cutoff. I'm sure we'll hear that from the guests.
Precisely.
When they explain.
It's part of the issues we will try to clarify on today's edition of the program. So on this note, I'd like to welcome all of you, wherever you're watching from, within or outside the country. We're glad to have you with us on this Tuesday's edition of Good Morning Nigeria, and it's live on the network service of the NTA. Now, in our tradition, we will also have the complementary segments in the course of our program. We'll begin, of course, soon with Tessie Mary, who will be giving us highlights of the morning news. Then, of course, there will be newspaper review, and much later, we'll be taking business news. For now, here is Tessie Mary with the highlights of the morning news. Tessie.
Hi, Tessie. Good morning, Kingsley and Claire, and hello, Nigerians. I was actually giving you my name this morning.
Yes, because of the cold weather. I did that from your voice.
And good morning, Nigerians. Here is the morning news. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Dimitri Silva, on the sideline of stakeholders' engagement in Abuja by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, says that the federal government has not removed subsidy on petrol.
Well, I can tell you authoritatively, we have not deregulated. The government is subsidizing. If there are increases in price, it is not from the government. It's probably from the marketers.
Federal government has inaugurated a new population advisory group to strengthen efforts towards implementing the revised national policy on population for sustainable development launched by President Muhammadu Buhari in February this year. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, at the inauguration in Abuja, pledged his commitment to harnessing demographic dividend with Nigeria's growing population.
Population Advisory Group, it should be noted, will be saddled with the responsibilities to guide, support, and mobilize adequate resources for effective implementation of the national population policy.
The commissioners are all going to their respective states. They're expected to also look out for people with the kind of credibility and experience background from their 3 senatorial districts, and then from the state population advisory group.
In talking health, Nigeria's Ministry of Health says it is paying more attention to the improvement of the standards of primary health care to control the spread of emerging infectious diseases in Nigeria by strengthening the capacity of medical experts through regulation and practice. Minister of Health for State, Ukamaka Joseph Nkama, stressed this at the 2021 induction ceremony of community officers in Abuja.
The modern Buhari is now working on each other in ensuring quality health service delivery and has prioritized training towards achieving universal health coverage.
Ensure we take the health care to the community one of seriously through provision of oral care and referral of cases.
National Demographic and Health Survey 2028 shows that 71% of Nigerian children lack essential nutrients and antibodies obtainable from exclusive breastfeeding. To bridge this gap, the 2022 World Breastfeeding Week aims at strengthening the capacity of actors involved in the protection, promotion and support of breastfeeding in all spheres. Minister of State Health Nkama flagged off activities for the week in Abuja.
This health benefits contribute to global economic growth by supporting future successful outcomes in education, the workplace, and also lifetime earnings.
We want to applaud the President Muhammadu Buhari's led administration for the approval for the establishment of the Nutrition Department and creation of budget line for for all the line ministries.
My appeal to media organizations is that we need to take up our responsibility of educating the society and creating awareness, particularly among young generation.
Around to legal matters, the appropriate interpretation of the law is one of the ways to restoring the confidence of people in the judiciary. In order to achieve this, judicial officers and supporting staff must work together for the maintenance of law and order. A national workshop to appraise court services is underway in Abuja towards achieving restoration of confidence in the judiciary.
Policy of transparency and access to public information fundamentally enhances public confidence in judiciary. Transparency, therefore, assures society that justice is impartial.
The world must use technology to provide sophisticated investigation and effective victim-centered response to center or to counter the use of technology by human traffickers to lure their victims. This was the consensus reached at the grand finale of the 2022 World Day Against Human Trafficking in Abuja.
We began a nationwide establishment of trafficking in persons and violence against persons vanguard across 110 federal government unity schools. The vanguard is intended to increase the capacity of students to identify and report incidents of human trafficking. The traffickers are doing it because they can make money.
Therefore, mobilizing affected communities themselves, in addition to working with states and local governments, is key to combating human trafficking in Nigeria.
And INEC has officially released 12,298,944 as number of voters registered before the suspension of the exercise on the 31st of July 2022. This was contained in the weekly post of INEC on Monday, 1st of August. This brings the total number of voters for the 2023 elections to 96,303,028. That's the news for now. Good morning, Nigeria continues with Claire and Kingsley after this break. Thanks for watching.
Obi, what exactly are you dodging?
COVID now.
You are very funny. Is this how you have been dodging every cough and sneeze?
Yes, my guy. The thing don't serious.
Have you taken your COVID-19 vaccine?
Leave that matter for Matthias. I have heard plenty things.
Beggy, I have taken my complete dose of the vaccine, and as you can see, I am okay.
Why you come still dey wear mask?
To protect everyone from getting the virus. It's good to dey practice the protective measures as the vaccine work now to stop you from dying from the COVID-19 infection.
This your explanation makes sense.
Go and get your COVID-19 vaccine. It is available in most public health centers and some approved private hospitals.
COVID-19 vaccines are safe and effective. Protect yourself and loved one. Take the vaccine. Stay alive. Let us all celebrate safely and responsibly.
Obi the Dodger.
Abejo, I'm going to get vaccinated now.
This message is from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Information, NCDC, NPHCDA, and partners.
Wake up the champion in your child. Give them energy to go further. Milo Active Go and the natural goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa helps wake up the champion in your child.
Our pastors, our imams, in every church, in every mosque, please realize that in the course of praying for peaceful and transparent elections, we all have duties beyond prayers. If we want a stable society before, during, and after the elections, what should you be saying to those that worship with you all Sundays and all Fridays? You are saddled with the responsibility of bringing up good generations. It is therefore your duty to both man and God to ensure peace all the time. No matter about elections alone, people talk to people and people listen. Talk to your followers. Make them listen to ensure peaceful 2023 elections. This message from the National Orientation Agency.
Everywhere you go, from banks to hospitals to public offices, mass transit stations, airports, and even telecommunication centers, senior citizens are treated as nuisances. They are not. They are senior members of our society, and they deserve the utmost respect. We shouldn't be having our aged fathers and mothers standing in long queues to withdraw their monies at banks. Our retired senior citizens shouldn't be caught standing in buses for lack of seats or chasing after one just to get to their destination. Senior citizens shouldn't have to sit long hours in hospital corridors with no geriatric specialist to attend to them. Our senior citizens deserve better treatment from all of us. They deserve to be listened to. They are deserving of seat reservations on public buses and priority attendance in public spaces. As young people, we are quick to say, no one owes you. This is not true. We owe the elderly members of our society a helping hand, our services, and respect. Age-friendly societies have more senior citizens enjoying good health, living safely, and engaging in meaningful community work than those who do not. Dignifying age-friendly services for senior citizens.
The counsel of our fathers.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Right, welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Nigeria, live on the network service. A bit of business news trending now, and we hear that the Nigerian Export Promotion Council is partnering Nigeria High Commission in Kenya in the area of trade. Alika Okpanachi Arwa brings us all the details.
The Nigerian Export Promotion Council has sought the collaboration of the Nigeria High Commission in Kenya towards capturing the East African market for Nigerian exports. The Executive Director, NEPC, Isra Yakusak, harped on the need for seamless market access during an interface with officials of the Nigeria High Commission in Kenya.
Once all these products are displayed, and the Kenyans go there to see, they will look at it, agree on what they want, look at the packaging, look at the certifications. If they are okay, they will just order such products from the various or respective Nigerian companies.
Now let's take a look at Monday tradings on the floor of the exchange. With business news, Alika Okpanachi Arwa.
All right, many thanks, Alika Okpanachi, for the business package. Coming up shortly will be the newspaper review. Don't go away. All right, and Bayo Atebi is right here with us. Bayo, good to see you always.
Good to see you, Claire. Good morning. Good morning, Kesley. Good morning, Nigeria.
Too. It's a chilly morning here.
Yes, good weather. This is the time that makes you feel reluctant to get out of the bed.
It's right about 19 degrees at the time I was leaving home. Of course, those who are in the northern hemisphere will wonder why 19 degrees should be chilly for us, because we're in the tropics.
Yes.
This subtropical environment, and so 19 degrees can be chilly. And it was quite wet last night
yes.
as well.
And sometimes for Abuja, because it's surrounded by hills, there's this fog that comes in between the hills and becomes very hazy sometimes. But for today, it's clearer and very, very mild.
My hands and my legs are, freezing, and I'm wondering, something unusual about, this weather.
There's no question about it. But Abuja is a lovely place to view the fog around the igneous rocks, the various parts of the city. Aso Rock, for instance, when you're in the central business district and you're looking at the mist around the hills, it's a lovely sight. And I hope that you can get good photographers, who can take still pictures of this and record it. So we're all right here at the nation's capital territory. There are concerns, but we're fine. Let's take a look at the headlines on the front pages of the papers we have this morning. I have a copy of the Nation newspaper, and above the nameplate are the following headlines. Explains surge in crime. Minister challenges security agencies. Kaduna residents flee as gunmen abduct over 50. Sokoto commissioner dumps PDP for APC. I take that again. Sokoto commissioner dumps PDP for APC. And PDP BOT, that's Board of Trustees, to mediate in Atiku Wike face-off. Intrigues as Amechi, Akpabio, and Silva battle for control of NDDC. They should let that body function. Don't come home until Kano is released. IPOP tells Abuja-based Southeast politicians. Northwest and Southwest lead in voter registration. 96.3 million for 2023 polls. Now you can see how the regions stand in terms of the figures comparatively. 2019 and 2022 figures, and then you get the totals there, how the regions stand, which is not to say that those who are captured in those figures are necessarily indigens. I think it's more a function of residents and choice that the registrant would choose to register. Knocks the federal government and ASU over extension of strike. And Nasani to partner Czech, that's the Czech Republic, to develop Nigerian agriculture. Kebbi police debunk report of terrorists moving to Kwara. OPEC Secretary General resumes. Okay.
I have Al Jazeera, but really not quite. It's on the front page. Again, just a little below the nameplate. We have Discos fight back, blame FG for 100 billion naira subsidy indebtedness. New NNPC CEO's appointments illegal. That's group with the rider call for Kyari, others sacking. Say civil servants can't hold positions in private companies. Civil servants can't hold positions in private companies. And other stories there, of course, again on page 15. ASU extends strike, blames the federal government for impasse. That's the much on the front page of the Al Jazeera bio.
Let's start with the ASU strike. The Academic Staff Union of Nigeria Universities wrote from a National Executive Council meeting at Abuja yesterday and said they have now extended their strike 4 weeks further. And according to a statement they put out, they say this is to allow, they describe the 4 weeks as a rollover extension of the strike to give government more time to satisfactorily resolve all outstanding issues. The current strike, it may be recalled, began February 14th and has now entered its 168th day. And this rollover was to commence midnight of 1st of August and is to last 4 weeks. It may be recalled that last year, 2021, the universities were closed for a period of about 9 months. Doctors are also, medical personnel are complaining about non-payment of hazard allowance. It may be recalled that health workers had approval of hazard allowance in December 2021. A circular from the National Salaries, Income and Wages Commission had indicated that the flat rate of 5,000 naira had been raised between 15,000 to 34,000 for workers under the consolidated health services, while those for the consolidated medical services was raised from flat rate of 5,000 to 32,000, between the range of 32,000 and 40,000. Although some of the health workers were agitating that whether you are doctors or health workers, they are always exposed to the same hazard. Nevertheless, the spokesman for the resident doctors, Dr. Alpha Yusuf, says that up to date, nothing has been done about payment of the hazard allowance. Another interesting report comes about the revelation from the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum, Timi Silva, that oil marketers recently raised the pump price of petrol above the 165 naira per litre. And as far as government is concerned, government is still paying subsidy and government has not raised the pump price. The minister indicated that the marketers said the pump price was not sustainable and therefore it was contributing to scarcity of petrol in many locations across the nation. Currently, major marketers in Abuja, many of them are selling petrol at 175 naira per litre, while independent marketers, some of them are selling at the lower rate of about 185, others are a little higher than that. The minister said that government is still subsidizing, and if there are any increases in pump price, it is not from government. This revelation came while he was addressing a meeting of the midstream and downstream regulatory agency, where they had gathered stakeholders to fashion out a regulatory format for the new format, new dispensation under Section 216 of the Petroleum Industry Act. There is the headline in the Nation, Kingsley. It says that Kaduna resident fear gunmen and they abduct about 50. Is that on the front page?
Yeah, on the Nation newspaper. So Kaduna residents flee as gunmen abduct over 50.
And they say the report is on page 5. But if you look at page 5, you see that the story there, the headline there, is completely different.
Well, sometimes these things happen.
Government kills 7,
abduct
54 in Plateau, Kaduna, and Bauchi states. See, so the impression created on the front page there is that the 54 unfortunate victims there were all in Kaduna. But there is this tendency now, because some papers are up north, others are down south, and reports come in a day or two later, they tend to aggregate stories over days, and it creates impression of a higher volume, and it constantly keeps in the mind of the viewer or the reader that there is heightened crisis. Yes, there is crisis, but sometimes this kind of report tend to exaggerate the situation than what it actually is.
Well, as you said, the incidents occurred across a number of states, in Plateau, in Kaduna, and elsewhere. But of course, those residents who are taking flight from bandits or kidnappers are unlikely to have the time and the patience for the kind of fine analysis that you are making. The details, of course, will be in the body of the story. Just a number of quick points about some of the headlines that you have also tried to amplify. The Honorable Minister of Petroleum was briefing on whether or not subsidy has been removed. I think part of the briefing that we also need, against the backdrop that the meeting was taking place with the midstream and downstream regulatory authority, is the state of the repairs of the refineries. Subsidy is dependent largely on importation. What is the state of the repair of the refineries? About 6 months ago, we had the Honorable Minister of State here in our studios talking about the schedule of work on the refineries. What is the update on those refineries, and when are they likely to be alright? Because part of the indication was that once the refineries get up and running, then we do away with subsidy. Already the Minister of Finance, in presenting MTEF for 2023 to 2025, that's included subsidy payments. So what does that mean? Is it that subsidy regime is going to continue? Is it that the refineries are not going to be fixed until that time? Or is it that we don't want to be caught unawares, assuming there are challenges with the rehabilitation of the refineries. That's one. Second leg about the group, and I think that was from Al Jazeera on the front page. The group saying civil servants cannot hold positions in private entities. These are some of the initial transitional problems or challenges that will arise. We do know, of course, that NNPC has now become a limited liability company, and so assuming your appointment was never always statutory flavored, now it means that you are a private employee. So these are the transitional issues that will be worked out, and then going forward, some of these things obviously will be sorted out. But government still has an interest in those entities. So under labor laws, it's going to require quite some argument how you deal with that. If government has controlling interest in those entities, then what we do is a limited liability company, but government is still a shareholder.
By the way, talking about refinery and rehabilitation, the chief executive officer of the Port Harcourt refinery was on record to have said that it is hope, Ahmed Diko is the name, it is hoped that by the first quarter of